This Yuletide Miniseries is a replay of episodes originally published in 2024. This way, the episodes are conveniently queued up in your podcast player so you don't have to go searching for them, and you never lose your spot in the listening order. As always, we're celebrating Yuletide in real time in the Numinous Network. I hope you'll join us for daily altar time from 10 to 10:30 a.m. Pacific, starting December 21st, winter solstice, and going through till New Year on January 1st. We're gathering on Zoom to check in, light our candles, and do a 20-minute guided trance journey to connect with the Yuletide theme of the day. So join us in the Numinous Network for Yuletide. Sign up at carmenspaniola.com. Welcome to the second episode of The Spirit of Yuletide, a Numinous podcast mini-series where we explore European folk magic traditions of the winter season. I'm delighted you're here for some soothing and calmness and creativity and connection through the holidays. If you're familiar with my cookbook, The Spirited Kitchen, this mini-series will be a companion and a massive expansion to the overview in the Yuletide chapter. And if you're not familiar with the book and you enjoy this podcast, I think you'll love the book because it's the same concept, animist, anti-capitalist folklore traditions, but for the entire wheel of the year, every season, and it's an excellent gift. In this episode, we're getting grounded ahead of what can be a hectic season. Even if you don't have a hectic season, it can still be a time of tremendous societal pressure to celebrate in a certain way. But we're going to start the month by grounding down into the earth, something we do together every year in the Numinous Network. We gather like this to consider what we have capacity for this winter, where we want to direct our energy, and how we can reconnect with our values so that we can prioritize what we really care about. We do this every year, this Grounding the Season event. We just had it, and you're getting a kind of a condensed version here in this episode. And we do this so we can be very clear about what we want to say yes to and what we're going to say no to. And we commit to not overextending ourselves, to not overstimulating ourselves, and to centering our own soul care and our own inner life, which is and has always been the other half of the work of winter. Since time immemorial, winter has been equal parts physical survival and spiritual quest. We're trying to live to see spring, and we're trying to understand what we're living for. So we take time to pause now and survey the terrain before us as we drop into our hearts to connect with what's within us and determine how then we shall proceed. As we learned in the last episode, there are 12 days of Yuletide, which recreate the themes of the past 12 months. Now, those themes reflect not only a more agrarian past, but also a more animistic past where people were connected to the land and the spirits of place on a daily basis. It was a time when there was more heavy reliance on the community and collective care for survival. So as we bring this seasonal rhythm back into our lives through the observance of Yuletide and daily ritual devotion, we are in essence rekindling the part of ourselves that remembers how to be in reciprocal relationship with the land, that remembers how to craft a culture of care and mutual responsibility with our neighbors and with our blood families and our chosen families. So we use these 12 themes of Yuletide as an opportunity to reflect and offer thanks for how we've been supported over the past year and for the tiny mercies that may have come our way, and to reconnect with the more than human realm that we may need to lean on more heavily in the year ahead. So as we've said, the heart of the season is that 12-day period from winter solstice on December 21st through to January 1st. But of course, Yuletide is about wintering. It's about enjoying the entire season of withdrawing into the womb of darkness and resetting our nervous system, reconnecting with our values, what we really care about, rekindling our childlike sense of wonder, our spiritual awe, and our embeddedness within the rhythms of nature. Now, to support all of that over in the Numinous Network, we have those live events happening through the month so you can enjoy the season with like-minded people. And we do like fun and interesting things, like we're making incense and burn bundles for winter solstice. We're embracing the darkness of the season with 3 nights of candlelight. And we're doing trance work to reconnect with the Kayak, the old woman of winter, and to journey to the constellation of Ursa Major. We're also communing with the spirits of place, the tutelary spirits where you live, both indoors and outdoor spirits. Now, part of maintaining your inner peace during the holiday season may be about taking a moment to pause, reflect, and plan ahead. And it's not so you can figure out how to pack everything in, but so you can prioritize what you care about, what's aligned with your values, and then gracefully release everything else. So before we look at some of the tasks you might want to do in advance in order to participate in the ritual observances that resonate with you, this is a good place to drop in. This is a good time to attune and ask yourself, what do you really want? What would feel like a good or meaningful outcome for you this holiday season? So we're going to do like a little thought experiment here. Now, this is going to be a little trance-like. It's trance work. I should just say that. It's hypnotic. But because this is a podcast and you might be driving or like doing something that requires you to focus, I'm going to say maybe press pause literally if you don't want to get lulled into distraction. Okay? If you need to be fully alert right now, please press pause and return to this later, okay? Okay, so thought experiment. I'd like you to use your imagination to conjure a sense of being cozy and relaxed and satisfied at the end of a long winter's day. Doesn't matter what you were doing, whether it was work or play, but imagine that now you're somewhere cozy and relaxed. Maybe you've got a satisfying hot drink in your hands, or maybe it's a satisfying fatigue in your muscles. Perhaps it's just a satisfying sigh. And just pretend for a moment, if you can just let yourself have that small gift, just pretend you're at the tail end of a day, and in this moment, you're feeling some satisfaction. Doesn't matter if you can't see it. Half of people, literally 50% of people can't visualize, but that's fine. You just remember the sense in your body of feeling satisfied. We're just trying to find a little ping of a signal here that sends a message of, yeah, that's good, or yeah, that's better, so that your body gets that message and responds with a little bit more physical relaxation and settling. So dropping in a little deeper, less in your head, more sinking into softness. But we'll let some thoughts drift in gently, not a big rush of them, just like a gentle breeze of thoughts. So you're in this cozy room, maybe there's a fire going in a fireplace, and imagine you just like crack open a window slightly to let some fresh winter night air drift in. Or maybe it would feel refreshing to step outside into the stillness of the winter night and have the crisp clarity of stars focus your thoughts. Think about the areas of your life that are most important to you. Your values, the things that truly matter deep in your heart. These values are like the roots of a strong tree, giving you a sense of stability, a place to return to when life feels busy. When the rush of the season takes hold, they're always there. Your values are always present, guiding you with a gentle hand. And like the earth beneath you, they are solid and supportive. Like the winter air, they are clear and crisp. And all the answers you need and all the clarity you seek are right here within you. Deep down, you know what matters most to you. Let these values become clear to you now, clearer and clearer with every breath. Notice how they resonate deep in your heart, like a calm knowing. Think about how your values can guide your actions this season. Perhaps it's creating space for rest, time with loved ones. Maybe it's a focus on small, meaningful moments rather than perfection. Whatever it is, allow yourself to clearly feel what is essential for you, releasing any pressure, letting go of distractions. Feel the sense of permission to focus on what truly resonates with your spirit. This holiday season is your time to honor your priorities, and the clarity you are gaining now will help guide your actions and decisions gently, effortlessly each day. Imagine or think about or simply sense any pressure or expectation just melting away like snowflakes falling on a winter solstice fire. You are warmed by the glow that comes from knowing who you are, what you stand for and really care about. If you like, you can repeat the next phrases after me, or you can simply say in your mind, yes, to amplify and anchor the spirit of these words in your heart and mind. So repeat after me, or simply say in your mind, yes. I am grounded in what truly matters to me. I honor my values, my priorities, and my needs. I release any pressure to be perfect. I give myself permission to rest. I create my winter season in alignment with my heart. I trust in the natural rhythm of winter. Take a nice deep breath in and let the exhale be a sigh of relief. Start wiggling your fingers and your toes. Have a stretch, and when you open your eyes, orient to something that feels grounding, solid, and supportive. And now let's get ready to say yes to what we want to say yes to, and no to what we want to say no to. Okay, we're shifting into planning mode. All my fellow planners out there, get your journal, pencil, calendar. Now, I want you to know that I didn't create the Yuletide chapter of The Spirited Kitchen, or like any of the chapters in that book for that matter, with the idea that you would do all of the rituals in one single year or all of the recipes in one single season. The idea is that maybe every year you work your way through the seasons just doing like one or two of the things from each chapter. So in the Yuletide chapter, like maybe one year you would try making the himmelis, the straw craft found on page 60. And then like maybe another year you'd make the surprise balls ritual and maybe also the eggnog, like you just do a couple of things. And you don't have to reserve the rituals for the season they're given in the book. They could happen at any time of year and just be adapted to that theme. So for instance, this year in the Numinous Network, our ritual craft for Yuletide is making incense, which in the Spirited Kitchen shows up in the Midsummer chapter. And we're also making burn bundles for our solstice fire, which appear in the Belton chapter. But we're doing them at Yuletide. You can totally do that. So I share this to emphasize how little pressure I want you to feel about what I'm about to share. It's like I can tell people not to get overwhelmed, but they still get overwhelmed because I'm just sharing so much. What I want, though, is for you to not feel like we're dogmatic or there's pressure to do things in that perfect way, okay? Okay, so here are some things that you may want to consider ahead of time. If you want to do some of these rituals, it can be helpful to know that in advance so that you can plan and make time in your calendar and have supplies ready and that sort of thing. So, as I said in the last episode, bringing an evergreen tree indoors is probably the most like heathen gesture towards the pagan roots of Yuletide you can make. So if you are going to forage or purchase a Christmas tree, again, consider buying one like a foot taller than you need. Cut off the lower 12 inches, use those branches for garlands and wreaths, and then use the lower 12 inches as your Yule log. And again, if you don't have a fireplace, you can follow the ritual for the Yule log in the Spirited Kitchen to see how you can make it into a candle holder that you use every year. Now, if there is a special recipe passed down from your matrilineage or your patrilineage, so your mother's side or your father's side, you'll probably want to plan to make those on the 21st. When we celebrate Mother's Night, all the mothers, all the women in a lineage, or the 22nd, when we celebrate the fathers, the grandfathers, the men of the lineages. If you are really into like kitchen chaos with kids, or you want your inner child to be part of the ritual observances, and that sounds like a fun thing, then you might want to bake your gingerbread house parts and cookies like anytime, but save the decorating until December 24th, when the theme for the ritual craft that day is about honoring the inner child. Now, I mentioned the himmelis. That's the beautiful straw craft. You can Google it, Himmeli. You might want to craft it ahead of time and then give it pride of place above your dining table on December 25th. So it could be like hanging somewhere else in your house, and then you just move it to the dining table on that night. But also, himmelis have thematic associations that would connect it to December 27th, 28th, or 29th. So you could also save it for like a quiet activity that you would do between Christmas and New Year's. Those are all days when acknowledging the harmonious nature of the cosmos is very appropriate for the theme. But, himmeli, man, it can take some advanced shopping and can take some time to get the hang of. So you'll want to source your straws or brass tubes, or and the straws can be like paper, plastic, or actual rye straw. And I'll put a link in the show notes so you can see where I buy my actual straw. And you want to give yourself a couple hours once you're ready for that craft. I have instructions, very detailed instructions with pictures in the Spirited Kitchen. You could also go on YouTube. There's lots of videos. But, they are a quiet, contemplative, and very, shall we say, exacting kind of craft. So you want to give yourself like an afternoon, You might also want to dehydrate some orange slices. It's a good thing to do in advance, but then bring them out, or again, just move them to a really central place on or after December 25th. This is a symbol of life-giving solar energy, so good to do in advance. Also, if you are into marzipan and you're going to make pigs and fruits and things, you might want to have that on hand. And it could be a craft that you do on the 27th or 29th. Or if you buy little marzipan pigs for stocking stuffers, maybe save them to eat on the 27th or 29th. And we'll hear on that day how the little pigs have to connect with the lore. And then plan some time on December 30th to tend your altar or spend some time in silence with a candle to honor those who've died in the past year. We normally in the network do a monthly grief vigil, and in December, we shift it to December 30th to be part of our Yuletide observances, and we will have an additional event that night as a vigil for the beloved dead. And then on January 1st, probably plan some extra time, like maybe around an hour for visioning the year ahead. You can listen to the podcast episode. It'll have a little bit of trance work and it'll be longer than the normal episodes. Normally episodes are anywhere from sort of 13 to 25 minutes. That one will go a little longer. And then you'll probably want to have time to pull tarot cards and do some oracular work. So as I said, if you're totally new to this Yuletide concept, or if you don't already own the Spirited Kitchen, some of the references I'm making might have just gone over your head, but don't worry about it. I'm going to go into detail about everything during those 12 Days of Yuletide podcast episodes, 21st December to January 1st. So some things you're going to be able to do this year really spontaneously that day, and other things you're going to want to just earmark for next year now that you understand what it's all about. In the next few episodes, I'll be sharing about the lore and symbolism of typical plants, animals, and foods associated with Yuletide, as well as a few creepy things. And those will provide even more inspiration for you to create meaningful rituals and moments for yourself this winter season. Good Yule to you. Until next time, take care.